sir, good afternoon from SMS Lucknow. Vinayak sir, good afternoon.
सुनाई नहीं दिया.
हाँ, आवाज आ रही है अब?
हाँ, आ रही है, आपकी आवाज आ रही है
जी.
गुड आफ्टरनून.
गुड आफ्टरनून, कैसे हैं आप?
हम ठीक हैं सर, हम ठीक हैं. लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू लिसन टू यू.
सेम हियर. आई होप as soon as Prasoon is online, we can all start quickly.
I'll just. Prasoon is there. Hello.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon to all of you. Myself Prasoon.
Prasoon, you are there. So we are.
Yes.
Let's start for the day. Hi Prasoon, welcome. I hope you can hear me loud and clear at your end. Prasoon, can you hear me? I think so. His screen has gone frozen. Prasoon, just let me know once you are on and available. We'll start. Prasoon?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Is Prasoon back?
Yes, I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah.
Offline. I don't know why. Anyway.
Yes, Mr. Vinayak,
Yeah,
you can continue.
I think so. I can see him now.
Okay. Welcome everyone. We are meeting for a very interesting discussion on journey of a startup, and I'm very happy to introduce Mr. Praveen Pal, who is from Lucknow, did his MBA from Lucknow University, from MBA IIM Lucknow, and now he has set up a startup which is providing healthcare, and it's actually a pharmacy mall, as he calls it, and I'll not talk much about it, but I will also introduce a gentleman named Vinayak. Uh, Vinayak actually is uh, uh, he's a promoter of a startup, if I may say so. He's a venture capitalist and he's managing director of the UP Engine Network. He will be in conversation with Prasoon, and we'll know what this pharmacy mall is and what he can do for us. I'll hand over to Vinayak Nath for the conversation.
Thank you, Mataji, for having me. It's a pleasure indeed to work with LMA for these several programs of knowledge that has been regularly organized at LMA. And this being something more near to my heart and just not the profession of startup ecosystem, of course, I couldn't say no to. Prasun, welcome to the program. Let's focus the light today on you. You are the star of the day, so we should keep on talking about you. So first, tell me something about yourself as a person. Where do you come from? How this idea of startup came into being, and who all are there in the team that they started with, and let's then deep dive into more of knowing the startup along.
Thank you, Vinayak. Thank you for having me. And I personally would like to thank Mr. Mathur and the whole team of LMA for organizing this journey of India's largest healthcare startup from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. It is indeed a great pleasure for me, for my team, to get interacted with all of you. About myself, I'm Prasoon, and as Mr. Mathur briefed about me to all of you, I studied from IIM Lucknow, and thereafter I started n number of ventures, I would say. Few failed, few succeed, and that's how I learned. Since 2015, I'm working in healthcare industry. In healthcare, I was completely dealing with turnkey projects. And turnkey means here we were dealing with the hospital, diagnostic, and pharmacy projects. In 2017, I got an idea. Actually, idea came right after the problem which I faced, and all of us are facing the same problems which I faced. But few of us take it personally and go for the startup or the problem solving stage. A few just leave it. So I took as a challenge, and I started working on this plan. Like every one of us are visiting in hospitals, medical facilities, monthly or maybe periodically in our life we have already visited, but problems we are facing are like we are not able to get the medicines under one roof, we are not able to get the affordability in terms of services, health products, wellness services. So I personally started this concept in 2020 during lockdown, where I thought when there a dedicated place for everything, be it clothing store or maybe electronic showroom, chroma, or any kind of showrooms we are visiting every day or maybe alternative 15 days or 13 days. So this was the concept that why we are not able to provide everything under one roof in terms of healthcare. So that's how this idea came into my mind. And during lockdown in 2020, I started it from scratch with the brand name of Oscar India's first healthcare mall. And that's how this journey of largest healthcare startup started from Lucknow itself, from Uttar Pradesh itself. And this is how we are building every day. In past 1 year, I would say we have started 62 outlets across country in approx uh, 15 states and 52 locations. And Lucknow, we have got 3 stores. Kapurthala is the mega, and it is 24 hours facility provider service center. And this has the omni-channel presence. You can place your order online. You can get it from the store itself. Yes, Vinayak.
This sounds amazing. So when you say you are the largest healthcare startup, for the general people's understanding, could you just let us know what does this mean? I just got a WhatsApp message from one of the probably audience asking what is the revenue of the company, how big is the turnover, or how many people in the company. So a lot of people generally do not understand when you say largest startup, what exactly does it mean? So could you just explain that also?
See, of course, if you are mentioning largest, it means people are understanding directly connecting with the finances or maybe the turnovers. Of course, I will come to the turnover, but why we have mentioned this term largest? Actually, we are the only company in India in healthcare that is trying to develop an ecosystem in healthcare. Like we have got the ecosystem of technology, we have got the ecosystem in hardwares like Apple, or maybe the in terms of software it is Google, but there is nothing as such in healthcare. So this is what we are trying to build, where every district will have the supply chain system of medicines, will have the retail wholesale facilities, will have the tertiary care, hospital care facilities, diagnostic facilities. So this is the reason to build this kind of system in India, especially in Uttar Pradesh kind of state and in Lucknow kind of district. It itself is a biggest challenge, where manpower, the right manpower is always a difficult situation to bring talent in system. Thereafter, building technology, it is technology based startup. It is again a problem. So, and past 1 year or maybe 1.5 year, we have understood that this phase was toughest phase of all of us have understood this. So during this phase, building this kind of a startup that is technology based, that is manpower driven, and that is directly affecting to tier 2, tier 3 population, vulnerable population, it is the reason we are saying it is largest startup. And since in past 1 year, we have developed a similar concept across 15 states. So any startup, any organization can be built anytime. But the reason is why they are not able to scale. This is the question. It comes directly to the startup founder. So we are very much focused where we were, where are we now, where we are heading. So the escalation, the scale up is there. That is the reason we are calling it largest startup in healthcare in India.
Okay, I hope this would have answered the gentleman's question who had asked that. So coming to the whole philosophy of unicorns happening in the country, this is another question pushed some time back with me. There are 87 unicorns as of today. We got the 8th unicorn happening yesterday. How do you see the healthcare faring up? There are a couple of startups again in the space in healthcare which have become unicorns recently in the last year and the previous year. So, but do you see what is the reason of such a big pandemic happening, and yet very few startups in the healthcare space has yet reached the space of unicorn? Why is that a gap, or is that an opportunity coming on time? How do you see this?
It is indeed an opportunity for all of us, and especially for the people who have got good background, academic background, and who has got good connects with the technology. You cannot build or scale any startup if you are not connected with the great team of technologists. And since this India is growing like anything in terms of a startup, we are we have just surpassed UK in terms of startups unicorns. So there is a good scope for all the young people who want to start their own venture. It is all about you need to work upon good idea that is actually solving problem, and you are good in raising funds. Then only you can succeed.
Can I interrupt for a minute?
Yeah, please go ahead.
I think it will be a good idea if we keep on taking the questions which are coming on the chat box. So
very true, very true.
I think
there is just one question as of now. They are more asking about the ranges of the product, and I didn't want to go into that yet because I wanted first him to talk about his company and him as a person before deep diving in the company actual products. Of course, there is a question here now. So if Prasun, you can also throw some light here that what are the ranges of the products and what kind of patients are you dealing in? And keeping, there are several doctors and several practices happening in the industry. What is your focus area or target area?
Yes. Building Tusker India's first healthcare mall was the only reason to provide all health and wellness and grooming products under one roof. This each healthcare mall consists of all the medicines, whether it is generic, ethical, Ayurvedic, Unani, veterinary. Thereafter, pets food also is there, grooming products are there, organic wellness products are there, followed by 3D services. 3D means free doctor consultancy, free dietitian, and of course, uh, up to 50% discounted price diagnostic test. All of, I mean, absolutely available in each Tusker Healthcare.
And at doorstep, you home delivering this?
Yes, we do. We do home delivery.
I think so. There is a question by some gentleman from name MIA2. If you could just change your name also, probably I can mention that. And if you can type in your questions here in the chat box, we will be taking all the questions coming in. You talked about how to raise funds. What should be the approach to raise funds effectively? And that's the next question somebody has asked.
Yes, yes. Mr. Utkarsh Sukla has asked this question.
Yes.
I'd be very happy to answer this. But Mr. Vinayak can help you in this case better than me, since he is the person who looks after this funding investments. But since he has asked me, I would like to answer. See, the how to raise fund, it is the, I mean, first question comes to the startup founder's mind. And it is not easy as it seems when you look at the startup funding news. N number of startups are raising funds every day. If you don't have any IIT IM background, it is really very difficult to raise funds. First priority. Second is if you have got a great team of CTO, CEO, then it is easy to raise fund. And if it is technology, tech enabled startup, then it is easy. If you are in Delhi, Mumbai, or maybe in Bangalore, then it is easy. If these points you do not have in order, then it is really difficult to raise fund. Yes, Mr. Anil Singh was asking something. Yes.
I'll just add, Praful, what you said. While I understand and appreciate all the points of concern of fundraising, everybody has on point to point again and again. The only idea of fundraising is supposed to be wherein you have an idea which is valid, deliverable, and something which is practically possible to do. And if you're coming from even a not so well-educated background, or you are very technically known to that background, will not matter much. But yes, it will matter to have the right team in place. So you might be a computer engineer working into a hospitality space, but if you don't have the right team, of course, as Prasun rightly mentioned, that will not help. You need to have the right team and the right strength to deliver what you are promising as a company. But beyond that, you need to be practically something possible. And if you have some niche area worked on to, we'd like to just look at what is the possibilities of financial structures today you have in place and what is that you propose to have. If that is there, please do approach us. We'd love to fund you. There is another question, Prasun. Somebody has asked a very practical question from you. I appreciate this question from Praful Kumar Singh coming through. How do you manage the expiry date of the medicines? That's what he has asked in the pharma industry. Of course, that's a pertinent question everybody has. If you could throw some light on that.
Yes. Since Mr. Praful, since we have got the warehouses, we have got the 62 outlets already running. So it is easy. The software is helping us with the expiry prior to 3 months, the date of the expiry. So we are able to, shift this stock to another outlet wherever we feel we are able to sell. First. Second, we have got the doctors sitting at each outlet. Doctors are very well aware which product is about to, expire or something like that. Then they push those products. So the expiry is always there, but the count is very less in terms of if you compare with other organizations, our expiry is really very less, and that is, I mean, minimal. That doesn't affect that much.
I just add this to another point that Prafulji, this is a regular case of all the pharma industry as a challenge. So all the pharma company manufacturers also give some leeway and space to the final sellers. So there are certain stocks which have also been recalled back because, of course, you can't sell a expired product through a certain point. But if it's not a running product, then only this is taken care of. If it's something like a Dolo or a paracetamol, you can't expect that. So our running organizations will not do that, but new experimental medicines which come in space do give some space for calling back their old products on which have expired. There is another question coming from Dava Mandi. I suppose this is a very relevant question when it comes to startup ecosystem. What is the size of investment you have got so far? And what is your current GMV and when have you turned profitable?
Very good question, intellectual. So this investment, if you're talking about, we have invested our own approx 5 CR plus. It is bootstrapped so far. We refused seed investment of 1 million to 2 million USD. We got a number of opportunities earlier. So we were expecting approx 5 million USD. So we are in process. We have approx 20 plus investors in place. Due diligence is taking place. So the second part of this question is, have they turned profitable? No, it is not yet profitable. Are you aware houses and delivery vehicle temperature controlled to maintain efficacy of medicines, especially injectables? We have it in place in Mumbai, not in Lucknow. We are trying to build it same. And it will be done in this financial year. I mean, in next 2 to 3 months.
How many places are you serving right now? And what is your immediate plans? Which cities are you serving?
We are focused in 5 states as of now. First, primarily in Uttar Pradesh, then Bihar, Jharkhand, Delhi NCR, and Maharashtra. These are the primary
Bombay?
states.
Are you serving Bombay also?
Yes, we are serving there in B2B segment.
B2B, not B2C.
No.
Prasun, comes to an interesting question. You have said that you have bootstrapped 5 CRs so far. So is this just your honest money that you have put in, or is it your friends and family which have also helped you out?
No, we have invested our own money. Since we are into business since 5 years, it was, I mean, not a difficult task for us.
Okay. There's another question coming down from Umesh asking, how do you compare yourself to the likes of 1mg and PharmEasy and the sorts?
This is interesting. So Umesh, these all startups are heavily funded startups, and they are very much focused in tier 1. While our business is from root, our business is in tier 2, tier 3, where 80% population lives, and this population is in maximum need of basic health care. So where, if you compare Tusker with all 1mg, NetMeds or PharmEasy, there is no comparison, I would say. They are in just tier 1, and they have just online presence, where if you compare India's population, it is not Zomato or Swiggy where you are dealing with tier 1 only. It is healthcare, and healthcare is mostly needed in tier 2, tier 3, where 80+% population resides, and this population is always suffering. They're not able to get, in fact, basic healthcare, whether it is product supply or maybe the diagnostic test, or maybe MRI, ultrasound, or maybe the doctor's facility. So our focus is, you can say, impact startup kind of. We are in tier 2, tier 3.
You have compared yourself with CVS Pharmacy, which is the largest chain in the US. In what way you think? Hello?
चूतिया तेरी ज्यादा दुख
Oh. Hello, can you hear, Prasoon?
Please, yes, I can. Mr. Vinayak, mute all the participants, please.
Please mute everyone except